Stand by, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. Yes, sir. That's just in the courtroom.
Miss Hannah, you ready? Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, during the course of this trial, the court heard and viewed evidence demonstrating the very worst of human behavior toward other human beings. The jury verdict in this case reflects that the state met its burden in proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the diabolical conduct of the defendants occurred. The sentencing to be meted out by this court will be responsive to that. Mr. John Michael Hakeem Gibson, would you please stand? Okay. On count one, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 10. On count 10, rape, life in confinement. Count 12, aggravated sodomy, life in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 22, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1. Count 23, trafficking a person for sexual servitude, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 22. Count 24, on the lesser included offense of battery, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 25, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 23. Count 26, pimping, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 27, pandering, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 28, keeping a place of prostitution, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 29, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 10. Count 30, simple battery, merges into count 24, battery. Count 45, possession of prohibited items by an inmate, 5 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive contact with any with count 25 to include conditions of this sentence or their family. No contact with any of the victims named in the indictment to include Diamond Urban or their families. You are to register as a sex offender, you are to register away from 737 as a sex offender, Alfred Road. You are to stay away. You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road in Atlanta, Peachtree. You are to stay away from the Mezzo condominium, St. George's, 2171 Peachtree. And you are to stay away from the St. George's Commons address, and you are to stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. Ms. Smith? All right, you may be seated. All right, Ms. Smith, count one, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement. As to count one, count 37, violation of the Georgia RICO Act for 20 years to serve in confinement. 10 years to serve. Count 37, trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 10 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive to count 1. You're to have no contact with any of the victims,
30 years.
including
30.
Diamond Irving, named in this indictment, or their families. You are to stay away from 737. You are to register as a sex offender. 2171 Peachtree Road. You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road, St. George's Mezzo at 2171 Peachtree Road, and the FIB, the address at the St. George's Commons, 9340, and the FIB, Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. All right, Mr. Taylor, you may be seated. On count one, all right, violation of the RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement. On count one, consecutive violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 9. Count 9, rape, aggravated sodomy, life in confinement. In confinement to run count 11, aggravated sodomy, life in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. 20 years to serve in confinement. Count 13, to run trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 20 years to serve in confinement. Count 15, to run consecutive. Aggravated count 1. 20 years to serve. Count 15, to run consecutive. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. 20 years to serve in confinement. To run consecutive with count 13. 10 years to serve in confinement. Count 16, false imprisonment. 10 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive by compulsion with count 15. 10 years to serve in confinement. Count 17, concurrent pandering by compulsion.
Life plus 50
10 years
years.
to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. 10 years to serve in confinement. Count 18, concurrent possession of cocaine. 3 years to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. To serve in confinement. Count 19, concurrent tampering with evidence. 12 months to serve in confinement to run concurrent with count 9. By use of threats. Count 20. Willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer by use of threats or violence. 10 years to serve, suspended fine to run concurrent, no contact with count 9, and a suspended fine of $300.
That's life plus 50 years. Life plus 50 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking news development in the sentencing.
Stay away from any of their families. You are to stay away from the Fulton Industrial Boulevard corridor. You are to stay away from 737 Alfred Road in Atlanta. And you are to stay away from the Mezzo address at 2171 Peachtree Road and the address at the St. George Commons, 9340. You register as a sex offender. And that is the sentence of this court. Ms. Smith, you may be seated. Mr. Gibson, Ms. Smith, and Mr. Taylor, you may remain, give you some post-conviction rights that you have, all right? You need to know, remain seated while I give you these rights. Post-judgment relief from your convictions, crimes. You need to know that you have the right to seek post-judgment relief from your convictions, your crimes, to a higher, by either making a motion for a new trial in this court and or filing an appeal to a higher appellate court. You need to file, if you wish to file a motion for a new trial or an appeal, then you will need to file the said motion or notice of appeal with the clerk of the Superior Court of this county. You may wish within 30 days of the judgment from the jury verdict, the final disposition. If a motion from you may wish to more fully discuss this with your lawyers. If a motion for new trial is made and the court denies it, you will have 30 days from the filing of the order of denial in which to file with the clerk of this court your notice of appeal. And you have a right to have a lawyer represent you on the motion for new trial and the first level of direct appellate review. And if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, the court will provide you a lawyer and a transcript of your trial at no cost. From the date that you're sentenced. With respect to felony convictions, to file you usually have a period of 4 years from the date that your sentence in this court becomes final to file what is known as a habeas corpus petition. From the date your sentence in this court on any misdemeanors to file, you have a period of 1 year from the date your sentence in this court becomes final to file a habeas corpus petition. All right? And with that, they may be taken back. Yes. All right. Yes. Your excuse.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have just watched the sentencing of Mr. Gibson, Ms. Smith, and Mr. Taylor. Respectfully, there have been a total of 4 life sentences plus 80 years. 80 years. Stand by. Forty life sentences, 4 life sentences, plus, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 life sentences, plus the years stacked above. This is the most time I've seen anyone receive covering Fulton County. She will never get to see her son again. This will probably likely be the last time she gets to see her son. Just think about that. When they go through those doors, they are separated. They are taken downstairs. They are put in a holding pen, separate, male from female. They are transported from the courthouse back to Wright Street, and then they will probably be on a bus out to Georgia Diagnostic in South Georgia, and she will be, Mr. Taylor and Mr. Gibson will go one direction and she'll go another direction. 30 years for Mama Cash. 20 plus 10 stacked. Not concurrent, but consecutive. 30 years when you're 50 is almost a life sentence. The mom didn't get a life sentence. The Cash, I got 2 life sentences. But I'll confirm that. But this is significant, ladies and gentlemen. The mother was convicted of a series of crimes, sex trafficking, RICO. The mother got 20 years for the RICO count 1. She got 10 years for the sex trafficking. That's 30 years. This, ladies and gentlemen, should be a deterrent for anyone thinking about coming to Georgia to traffic or to commit RICO. This is the only judge in Fulton County in the history of Fulton County that has given this much time out for a RICO case. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. And while you're letting that sink in, make sure you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the sound of my voice, and hit the thumbs up, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is breaking news development in the case involving rapper Cash Out. No more riding around with Nino. No more shaking and baking. Cooking dope in a dope house. Done. It's not happening anymore. No more exploiting young women. Getting your money off the back of young women. Despicable. You could have got a damn job if you couldn't rap. Despicable. No more Keisha either. None of that. Done data. Done data. It's over. Over. You destroyed collectively these innocent people's lives. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You took the souls of these young ladies and pimped them out for your own profit and benefit. You held a machete, a firearm, and a backhand slap as your weapons of destruction. So, the judge spoke. She spoke loud and decisively. She spoke loud and decisively. There are so many women are missing. This is not a myth. There are young ladies missing around the country that have been black women, black girls have been taken off the streets and taken into servitude and being pimped and prostituted in America. But your time will come soon for all those who have pimped and prostituted these innocent human beings. Your time will come soon. It's just a matter of time, but your time is coming. Your time is coming. The minute you think about pimping another one, imagine someone pimping your mom or your sister. your aunt, your girlfriend, your daughter. Think about that. I take joy in seeing the victims whole. They're not gonna be whole, but getting some justice. I seen a video the other day, ladies and gentlemen. Your president, Mr. Biden, why are you screaming? Because I'm mad right now. I'm mad. Cash Out had an opportunity that a lot don't have. He was rubbing elbows with some of the big dogs. You were in the mezzo. You was my neighbor. You were my neighbor. You don't get into the mezzo easily. Mezzo ain't cheap, but you were in the mezzo because you were pimping and prostituting ladies, young girls. And Mama Cash, you should be ashamed of yourself. Collecting the money while your son was destroying young ladies. Disgusting. Disgusting. Put a stain. You put a stain on Atlanta hip hop with this weird, sick, diabolical behavior. Mama Cash had TV opportunity. She was rubbing elbows with some real decent people. But she said, no, that's too hard. I need that easy money. Every dollar that you took from those young ladies, off the backs of those young ladies, that's what you should be thinking about. Not that they did me wrong. No, it wasn't like that. No, the money trail was real. The evidence was strong. It was undisputed evidence that it came from Mama Cash, the victim. This is not a case where maybe they picking on them. Nah, they ain't picking on them. This is a RICO. This is a RICO. And I see some comments. I see some of the comments on some of the other cases I covered. But you got to understand something. When I look at a case, I don't use a wide brush to paint all what I see in one case and apply it to the other cases, because facts are different, circumstances are different, evidences are different. But when you see it, you hear it, you listen to the testimony, it's different in each and every case. And some of you just got to chill out. If you're not actually sitting in there in the courtroom or listening to the evidence and looking at the witness, you got to be there. That's why I said cameras. Everyone can't be there. I understand that. Everyone can't get there. But we need cameras in the courtroom in certain instances. Or we need real truth tellers that come out and tell the truth, not manufacture it for their own benefit, own gratification, but for the benefit of the people, so people can be aware. People are aware that there's sex trafficking in Georgia, and it's happening at a rapid rate, and it's not going to stop until judges like this make those people held accountable. And that's real. That's real talk. When you see someone that is in trauma, you see a white van with blacked out windows riding around in the neighborhood, listen. Make sure you're watching, you keep your phones out, and keep your Keisha on standby. Because they prey on they ride around in neighborhoods where people are most vulnerable, and they snatch people up. They snatch people up. They put some chlorophene in a tissue and knock them out. or put them under some type of drug. It happens. Listen, it happens. Don't think you can't get it. When you got 3 weirdos or 4 weirdos sitting in the van waiting to scoop you up. You don't walk by yourself, ladies. You walk with a friend. You make sure you have your mace. And if you can carry a gun, carry a gun. You'll say, Mr. Byron, why do you tell them carry a gun? Yeah, carry a gun because they're carrying guns. The criminals don't care about gun rights because they're carrying guns. Criminals don't care about gun rights, which I think is so weird. The criminals don't care about gun rights because they don't follow the law anyway. So you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. I'm sorry, guys. You might say, Mr. Byron, you're talking too much. I'm sorry. I just got to get this off my chest because I've seen things. I'm hearing things. And these people just came there someone came for opportunity. Someone just snatched up. Can't make light of that. Can't make light of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm in the live. I'm sorry. But this kind of pissed me off. This pissed me off, man. And before you say somebody say, oh, it's about the color. No, it happens. It happens. It happens. Black, white, Latino. It happens to vulnerable people. It happens. What would make someone do such a thing to another human being is the question I have to ask. What makes someone would do that? Then a woman, you are the I don't know if you're the mastermind or whatever. First of all, I'm putting that she get the same smoke. Same smoke. You out here taking money from the pain and torture of other human beings. Let me just say this. Judge Leffridge at 8C in Fulton County Courthouse. Job well done. Adrian Love and your team, job well done. Mr. Hoover, Mr. Matthews, you had to work with what you had. You didn't have much to work with, and it is what it is. Don't take this as a loss for yourself, but a win for the community. This is a win for the community. And I know the Constitution grants everyone the right to have a fair trial and an attorney be represented by competent attorneys. But you can't you can't make lemonade without lemons. You just didn't have it. You didn't have the tools necessary to win this case. So don't go bashing the attorneys. Don't go bashing the attorneys. Don't go bashing the attorneys. This wasn't that case for them to win. It's almost like a murder case versus an attempted murder case. You don't have the opportunity to interview a corpse. When you have a live witness getting on the stand telling their story, that's a big amount to overcome. And then you have all these jurors that are listening. They're listening to the details. Listen. I get it, but I'm just saying I've been covering enough of these cases, and there's sometimes lawyers are just not cut for this, and then sometimes lawyers are. And I guess at the end, through an appeal or whatever, are they going to argue in effective counsel? Was there something missed? There was a plea deal. I'm told there was a plea deal, but the plea deal wasn't even conducive for the people that it was offered to. It wasn't. But you guys really should hear some of the crazy details in this case. It's horrific. Right. So I don't bash attorneys unless you are just a poor, sloppy attorney. Then I'm going to give you that business. I'm going to give you the business. Because if I can catch it, you should be able to catch it. If I can catch something and you don't catch it, then I'm wondering, I'm saying, wait a minute, are you just going through the motions or are you actually doing the work? But with that said, they didn't have much to work with, the defense. They didn't. They didn't have much to work with. I don't think a high-priced attorney could have gotten a better outcome when you have the witnesses that are coming in. And sometimes you have these high-priced attorneys that negotiate a settlement before it goes to trial. They tell the client, listen, this is not going to end well for you. You're here on a RICO case with a mounting of evidence, and cranking up the jury or taking it to trial probably is not the smartest thing to do. And if your attorney doesn't tell you that, and then you go ahead and crank up the jury and it comes out not in your favor, it's up to you to, it's only on you, because the attorneys have to tell you, listen, they got to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this was an ugly case. I sound muffled. Do I sound muffled? Hold on a second. A little muffled. How about now? How do I sound now? You said I sound a little muffled. Do I sound muffled now? How about now? Miss HLS. Shout out to Miss HLS on YouTube. Shout out to being a loyal member. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being a loyal member. I appreciate all my members and my subscribers. She said the same. Oh my goodness. Sound the same. How about now? Mic check. Hold on a second. He said she's telling you I'm sounding bad. What the heck is happening here? Let me see. Mic check. My mic sounds nice. Check 1. My mic sounds nice. Check 2. Are you ready? I'm not congested. You think I'm congested? Oh my! Oh, you know something? Might be right. Let me do that sound that you hate. Wow, that's not my sound. That's somebody else's sound. That's not my sound. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Jackson Tabasco, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Another one. Okay. Listen, I'm just trying to check. You tell me my mic sounds bad. I don't know. I can switch it up. See, you're trying to throw me off. You try to throw me off. It ain't gonna work. But listen. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, since she said I sound muffled, I'm gonna give you some hot coffee or something, hot tea. That's what I'm gonna do. I won't do that. I appreciate you guys coming in. Really do. You have just watched the sentencing of Michael John Gibson, Linda Smith, aka Marinika Vinny, and Tyrone Taylor. Each of them have been sentenced to a lot of time, life for the 2 males and 30 years for Miss Smith, Vinny. And this is it. This is what it is. Hold on a second here. Hold on, before I go anywhere. Thank you, Miss Jackson Tabasco. Thank you. I'm gonna pin that right there. That's the link to join. Get yourself that membership. Go on over there. Get that membership. That video. We were editing a video from the trial because there's some names there, and you heard some of the names in the sentencing. The video should be in the membership within the next hour. You guys got an opportunity to go listen to it in the membership section. So make sure If you can't see it, make sure you're on the right membership level because the video will be playing there within the next hour. As long as it takes for us to get our production to get it uploaded, it will be there. It will be there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everyone coming in and supporting the platform. You too on Twitter. Make sure I'm posting this right here. You have an opportunity to get one of the memberships and watch some of the exclusive footage. With that, I'll see you guys on our next live. Until then, we're out.